Hey everybody, my name is Brent O'Connor. I am a documentary filmmaker and a historian with Rocky Mountain Ballet Theater and Ballet Beyond Borders in Missoula, Montana. And I hope you're enjoying Ballet Beyond Borders January 2021 so far. And what you're about to see right now is a video that I did with an interview of the dancers who went with us to Pakistan for the Islamabad Arts Festival in 2019. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope you enjoy the rest of BBB January 2021. So this is the one of the festivals that one of the artisan festivals that we went to, where they had lots of things to purchase that were based on Pakistani culture. And so I know that you guys are going to remember this very well, because this was really one of the first things that you guys did when you arrived in Pakistan. We took you to this this art fair, and you guys had a blast. So let's get on it here. Let's see.
Oh, the fabric.
Oh, so pretty.
Obviously, some of the artisans, incredible work. That's camel bone. And it didn't take very long. Oh, tell me about the food. What do you guys think of that?
Oh my
It was
gosh.
so good. Amazing.
It's just full of
to this day, I
flavor.
dream
there's
about the
just,
food.
There's just something about
I remember
It's
this
like so-
chicken. It smells so good.
All right.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
dream
go
about
back
it
in.
too.
I'm going to go back into this video, and I probably edited this out of sequence because I showed some food and some of the artisans. Literally, it seemed like as soon as you guys walked in through the gates, you were already interacting with people in the way that only you guys can do.
I remember these. They were so
Oh,
fun.
good.
That was literally like
I
5
thought
minutes
so.
from.
That was 5 minutes. Yeah, that was about 5 minutes in. The best part about this was we knew two of the drummers from LA,
Yeah.
and so it was cool to like see people we knew in a place that was very new to our eyes.
And you're
And
talking
at
about
that
the
moment, I was
Pakistani
able
drummers.
to like truly understand what it was like for them to be in LA, and then to finally see us, and for all of us to just be like, oh, there goes our friends.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. I
Which
don't
is so
think I've
funny
ever
'cause-
felt more welcome somewhere. I mean, that was just, you're in our home, you're welcome. Because as
And
soon as
the
they
ability
saw us,
of
they
the-
started,
They were so open to allow us to be ourselves, like that's something
Yeah.
that was just so amazing, to see, because it was just like so welcoming,
I like the people.
there was no like
It's my people.
like limits to what we could do, Wow.
And as always, you guys were,
Or the blue one.
seemed like the main event everywhere you went. People wanted to get photos and autographs.
Yeah,
it was so fun.
I don't think
Oh, I love those hats.
those hats
Oh,
were.
Chitrali hats.
they
I
make
still
you-
got mine.
Oh my gosh, the monkey! The monkey! Oh my god. Oh.
There we
Oh,
go.
I remember that guy. He made our pens. I don't know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
was my pen.
Oh yeah, that's true.
How are you? What's up?
Yeah, I
Alright.
have a pen somewhere in my house.
So any other comments about that particular
Well,
artisan?
it's so interesting, just because now it feels like a memory, like it just being able to see the video, because we haven't seen this footage, like, and seeing this video, it really made me feel like I was there at the moment, just because of how tangible their energy was, when they were like, they were curious about us, but it was a curiosity with such a high respect. Like they were able to share what we were feeling and what we, like how we were expressing ourselves, and just be welcomed by their energy. So it was pretty awesome.
Excellent. let's move on. We're going to the first shot we'll see here is our friend. Oh, go ahead. Did Kaya? Do you have some?
I'm gonna have this.
Kaya's got to take care of some babies, so we're gonna move on to some new babies, and so we're gonna move on to the video. And the next guy we're gonna see is Jamal Shah, who is the most gracious and generous host for us at the Islamabad Arts Festival, and we met him, of course, last November. Let me pull this up.
Yes, look at those pants.
Oh, you know.
Hi, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you.
And it wasn't too long after that, we were headed up the mountainside.
Go, Kaya.
It is so beautiful there.
It was just so fun.
I like one of the news reporters that's my friend from Pakistan sent me like a live footage of night footage of the exact place where we danced at, and there was like I don't know if it was like a leopard or like a cheetah or what, but it was really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
like right
cool.
there where we were at.
Very good.
There's
I
the
was
Iranians
dying this time.
in the front row.
I do have to say that venue was so elegant too. Like it was so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, they were amazing. They were just
They
incredible.
were so good.
That's what like I was so impressed with like the
Yeah.
drummers, like they were like always there.
The painters are going to
Yeah.
Okay.
This was so fun.
shadows.
I think this
The
was
canvas
later
lights.
that day or maybe the next day. I can't remember.
It was the same
Oh my gosh, that
night.
It was
was
that
so
day.
awkward.
I'm pretty sure it was that day.
Positions so that, yeah.
That was so awkward.
That was just amazing.
Just,
I like
yeah,
this
the
because it
artists
really
were, like,
crosses
sharing
the
with each other.
genre of art.
And different painters and different, like artists from around the world. Like,
It was such a wonderful experience. Like, I never thought I would do that. And then there I was. Beautiful. Ooh, Walter.
I think it would have been so much fun to be the one who was painting the thing.
yeah.
Yeah. I love the stick man in the middle.
Oh, there you go. That is my favorite photo.
This is another place where you guys brought down the house with your dancing and your culture. There's
Oh my
Jen.
gosh, that's such a good I love that.
Yes, yes.
Oh my god.
That one was cool. And then there was that musical, I think. It was like a musical play at the end
Oh
of it.
yeah,
that
that
play,
was
yeah.
so good. I still have the book that goes to that play, and it's like about the honor killing.
Yeah.
Made a
Oh
lot
my
of friends
gosh.
that
You
night.
know,
That's what like
The best
so
part-
to me, like the culture there.
Yeah. What I like about this part is, to be honest, is that we all represented something so different. Like we brought something so special and so deep to our hearts. So the ability of like being connected to a different culture who has maybe never seen like what we do, like like what we dance, like, and them being so open to receive this message of culture and tradition. It's really, really refreshing. And as well, like beyond the part of being on a stage in Pakistan, just the ability of share my artistry with other artists, which is you guys, that do different things to what I do. And you guys do it so well. It was just like a privilege, to be honest. It was so awesome just to be able to share that identity of each other,
Yeah. When Walter earlier was talking about us, like the group itself is a good group to travel with. And I agree, mainly because like what we do individually and where we come from in our cultures are very welcoming in the sense of like we know who we are. Let's get to know who you guys are. And I think what I found most intriguing on that trip was that they're the same. Like I found like Pakistan's like cool with China and like all this other stuff, and they know all of them. And so for USA to go, they were like, let's figure it out. Let's see what we have that's similar. Let's figure each other out. And I love that.
Yeah.
Excellent. We're going to move on to the next part of this video. We've only got so much time. Sorry, guys. This has been an awesome discussion. I'm going to take us on to the next part here. The mosque.
Oh my gosh.
The mosque.
Oh,
my God.
amazing. This place was like.
I feel like I didn't
It was
take
like
enough
smooth
photos there.
Honestly, I felt like I didn't do it on purpose because I wanted to, you know, feel it because the energy in that place was crazy. So I was like, I don't need photos to be honest. Like, I'm okay.
It's really cool.
I got one.
I like it. I really actually wanted to. I'm kind of sad that it's not open for prayer because I was hoping to be able to pray in there because it's such a experience to be here, and you can definitely tell that it's like a very sacred place.
Speechless.
So beautiful.
Um,
How do you say? I mean, euphoria?
Euphoria.
Euphoria? Yeah.
Euphoria.
That's it.
Speechless.
That was the word of the trip for me.
But you know, even like the respect, you know, we all have our different traditions. You know, we also have different beliefs. You know, like religious beliefs and everything. And something, you know, like that I was so amazed by it is the respect that these people have for their religion, you know, like, and their commitment to respect. And that was all about respect, you know, taking your shoes off, you know, to walk in this place, you know, like, it's just so, it really teaches you values that you sometimes don't have in your own living surroundings, you know, like, and the respect that you don't see in some of these areas, you know. So it was just breathtaking in that aspect.
Another religious heritage site that we were able to go experience were the caves. And
the caves, yeah.
Get us back to that video.
Oh my God. I think that was my favorite part of the whole trip, the caves.
Oh. I think my favorite part was the village, for sure.
The village, yeah.
I was happy to ride the horses there. That was awesome.
Oh yeah,
that's
the
video.
I love the pictures we have there in this place.
That's the mayor of Islamabad.
The mayor. Charlene.
There's Cowboy
There you
Castro.
There you go.
Okay, I'm going
Those
to try.
horses were good.
It's vodka?
Yeah.
Charlene. Okay, stop.
For the record, it was not vodka.
Oh, those things
global
were
water.
so good.
Oh, the kebabs, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, more of your dancing.
Oh, the little homie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. I miss Becca.
Oh yeah,
music
Jamal.
though.
He's
Something I
so cool.
love.
His dad is my
I miss
Facebook
him.
friend. So like, fuck with him.
You gotta send me his info.
Oh, yeah.
And this was at the Marriott.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
so
the
funny
food.
how
Yeah.
every venue.
No, Walter.
That's one of my favorite dances.
Yeah, that is one of the
I want to
The
pause.
trauma of this thing.
I'm going to pause for a second because this guy right there in the middle loved you guys. It was incredible to watch him interact, and he's raising his hand in adoration towards you as you're dancing. And at one point, I think, Casper, during your piece, which I think you based on slavery, he was wiping tears from his eyes. And it was incredible just to watch.
You'll make me cry.
Yeah.
I
It
know.
was just incredible to watch the interaction that they had with what you guys
How come we
did.
didn't know about this?
Yeah. What?
And unfortunately, that little clip of him crying didn't make it to the video, but I will get you a clip of that so that you can see it.
Oh,
But
wow.
I just thought it was interesting because here he is, an older gentleman, and of course Pakistan never really, it doesn't have a ballet culture to begin with, so there's no real ballet. There's no point shoes in Pakistan. They don't know ballet. So it was really fascinating. Julia brought point, and so we were able to see some of that. But I think also the slavery culture, though, because Southeast Asia, obviously Africa, all sorts of tribal slavery issues going on, and I don't necessarily know Pakistan's history with that, but it obviously very much resonated with the locals there. Your story.
But that's the beauty of dancing, I feel like sometimes we forget that dancing is such a powerful language. We forget that you are able to communicate with others in a deeper level, in a level that resonates to someone else deep in their hearts, and maybe we didn't speak the same language, but we were able to communicate with someone and make that emotion, so that's pretty awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Brett, because that makes me as a
I feel like
dancer,
crying already.
yeah, and as a dancer, it makes me value what I do more, so
Good. We're going to move on to something else. Let's see here. There it is. Loved it.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember him from China? Yeah. He got us those
he knew
books.
us.
All right.
Shopping.
We are now headed shopping again.
Oh, yeah.
Should I bring one? Oh, this
We
is
were
like
fascinated.
Yeah,
by
and it's a
the-
little card.
Okay, look, if you guys ever invite us to a trip or something, we're gonna go buy stuff. That's just what we do.
we
That's
like
Kashmiri
to try
tea.
things.
Kashmiri
Yeah.
tea, yeah.
So you guys were invited to Pakistan for an international arts festival, obviously, of which you participated. However, and that was great experiences. I know that you guys all really appreciated the opportunity to share your dance with everyone there. But I know for you guys, the jewel was going to the village. And so we're going to play a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm already excited.
You know what? So I better set this up because I didn't do this. That guy there in the black and white shirt is a local mechanic, and the reason why we went to the village was because a week before, when several of us, you guys hadn't joined us yet, but when several of us were coming back from Lahore to Islamabad, we broke down in the middle of nowhere, and literally ended up over and we'll see this in another video, by the way. So for those of you guys who are watching right now, join us for the other video with Charlene and some of the other people that were on that trip, and we will show you exactly what happened. But anyways, the local mechanic, who was a very young guy, had just opened a shop a few weeks earlier. We fell in love with him. He was so gracious to invite us back to bring you guys over to the village. So he showed us his village. This is his home that he invited us into. Let me put this back on.
I'm gonna.
Good morning.
Chicken.
He's very happy. He's delighted to have us here. And he's has opened up his house for us. He's brought out these charpais for us to sit. And this is a lovely courtyard. And the day revolves around the courtyard. I mean, we can see food is being cooked in a couple of places on wood-burning stoves. And this is a very typical of a Pakistani village house, where there's a courtyard and there are rooms surrounding. And now his uncle is getting married, so they're going to add another room to the house to welcome the bride.
That's so cool. I like that.
Thank you.
So family is very important.
It was so beautiful.
I like how
Like his eyes were gorgeous.
Oh yeah. He's still talking. Nice.
Yeah.
for water.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
We have those at my grandma's house. We have our own hand blow pump things.
That's very cute.
That's so cool.
That's the guy.
That's the guy.
Yeah, that's the guy.
My
That's
great grandparents were slaves. Really? Yes.
It was pretty
So I'm
awesome
Creole.
just to see how excited they were to show us what they have, you know.
The great grandfather.
They for us might have not been much, you know, but for them it literally meant they wanted to show us everything. You know.
Pani.
And he's trying to offer us tea.
like they were actually really rich. Like they don't depend on anything. Like they're completely self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And I love it.
He desperately wanted to provide us some tea, something to drink. That's just the generosity of the locals.
The crazy part is just you see that in the entire trip, even though people didn't have much, what they had, they were willing to share. And
Yeah.
that was, got to me. That's why the village was my favorite part. I mean,
Do you know how excited we are when we got to this area?
Yes.
just
What are you doing here?
It's interesting how different it was for
Hurricane.
the guys versus the girls, though, because like I feel like they like approached the men and stuff, but like for the women, like nobody approached us.
And do you
Yeah,
think?
I found out why that is. It's because, like, in their culture, one, you don't guys who aren't their husbands aren't supposed to look them right in the eye. And so, like, I
Yeah.
guess they were trying to figure out what's that boundary from you guys being from somewhere else and then, like, being in their space, so they don't necessarily know which way to, like, come at the situation.
Yeah. But like you could tell the difference between the little kids because they were like all over us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kids were
Amazing.
just like they're just like
honestly,
there's new people.
All right.
guys, I
So
don't know
my
if you
family, they
remember
got
that.
sugar
But I
cane.
almost got adopted. I mean, you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got adopted.
There was this
You didn't
woman,
almost got
she
adopted.
was
You got
the,
adopted.
Yeah, I did. She was the mother of the house, and she had beautiful eyes. And the picture I have with her, I just like when I look at it, I go, wow. But
Mom.
she literally said, like, if
Whoops.
I wanted, she would adopt me. And oh my God, guys, I can't even explain. I'm just start crying.
All right, I'm gonna take you guys back to the video here.
Oh, that was
That was a
one
dope
of my
picture.
favorite. Yeah.
Please to wash your hands.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
oh yeah, I remember
Oh
that
my
because we
God.
were eating too much sugar cane.
That was one of my favorite things to take a photo of. Just like the hard work of two people, like
Yeah,
it was just
That old lady was like killing it. She did
Yeah.
that whole field.
No
All
worries.
right.
Speechless.
So we've got to talk about that. What were you experiencing, Casper? You were awfully quiet during several sections of
Victoria.
walking around the village.
I feel like my youth doesn't have a lot of family interaction. Like, yeah, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you meet everybody, but it's always been like my mom raising us, and so to see the unity of a family and to be able to see like how everybody has their part, does their job, and the entire village, like they all go and they handle their wheat and they do everything they need, and for them to like give us and offer us a lot really hit me. And so whether it was like just hanging out with the kids and like being able to just I feel like the vulnerability on both ends was very peaceful and very touching in the sense of like it shows that no matter what you do, like if you do art, if you do anything else, like if you're willing to understand somebody, you'll be able to to understand, even if you don't speak the language, if you just like walk their steps and breathe their air.
Excellent. Any other thoughts on that?
Well, you know, one of the things that I was more because as Casper, you know, like I was speechless in a lot of moments, and I think, and especially during the village, because when we got there, you know, we got to this very fancy, you know, hotel, you know, and it's very luxurious. Yet we go to a place where they have nothing of that, you know, and it really, really makes you understand the value of life in the aspect of like they don't have anything, but yet they have everything, even more
Yes.
than what I might have, you know, like, and just to be grateful, to be grateful of what we have, you know, and the abilities that we have here in this country, you know, and just it's a humbling experience. And I think that's the reason why it became my favorite part of the trip, just because it was able to bring me down from that pedestal that sometimes we put ourselves into, you know, like we like to put ourselves above things. And that was a moment where I was like, I'm not there. I have to be here. You know, it doesn't matter how much you accomplish in life. It doesn't matter how much you create. You have to remember the happiness belongs to the people that raise you, to the people that are surrounding you, you know, like, and the community that you grew up with. Because that's the thing, is a lot of these people were raising each other's children. You know, like that's something that we saw. You know, some of these kids' neighbors were coming into these people's house, and you know they're being treated like, you know, family. You know, so it does take a village to raise a good human. You know, and that was the beauty of that. So, yeah.
Speechless.
Oh my God, look at the eyes of Pakistani
Everybody's
people.
so naturally beautiful.
Let's see. Walter's going to have something to say here,
Like,
real
I
quick.
was like, I grew up in a very similar scenario with the farm and fields, and it's funny how when you live in a city, you never think about these things. You know, I always thought about, you know, coming from poverty and getting a better status, you know, like working and making sure that I'm living in a proper situation, and just coming back and to reminding myself where I come from is just heartwarming. I'm holding the tears because I was one of them, you know, and now I'm blessed and I'm grateful. So thank you. Thank you.
He was my favorite.
he was.
Oh, that was my favorite part.
You see the guy that liked the photos too?
Yeah. This is a bedroom.
You know, crazy is like when I was. Oh, sorry.
No,
But
go
like
for
when
it.
I was having my twins and I was in the hospital, like one of them was breech. It was like a really hard delivery, and I just kept reminding myself of this woman in the village in Pakistan, and how she told me she had all of her kids at home in that like room. Like I just kept reminding myself like I can do this. Like she had 11 kids in that room. Like I can do it.
Isn't that crazy? 11 kids.
So Hassan's father was just telling me that in a village, everybody knows each other and they take care of each other. So like we have been walking around and they know each and every family. They know what their joys have been, what sorrows they have suffered in the recent days. So they keep an eye out for everybody. It's not like a city where you don't know who your neighbor is. Every child deserves a chance to study.
And this is a school.
That's cool.
That was such a, I don't know, like bittersweet moment because like to see the learning environment that they have, and then to know like that the women only go up to a certain grade of education is like kind of sad.
This is a voice singing behind everybody. There's his mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And my adopted mom.
What'd you guys think about the way the courtyard's laid out? How life
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
That's
Thanksgiving.
how I'm building my house.
really revolves around that.
That was so good. That food was
Yeah,
good.
that was such a good meal.
One of the best foods of the whole trip.
Oh, this
It
was
like
fun.
It was so fun.
Oh my god.
That's hit the mechanic's mother with her hand on your back, and she adopted you girls.
I was just saying, you could definitely tell like her motherly instincts were like really strong, and now that I'm a mother, I can kind of relate to that feeling. Especially like I can't even imagine like seeing like two young girls like so far away from home on their own, like that urge to like just be protective.
Yeah.
Well, it's so amazing, you know, it's so amazing the ability they to travel, you know, like and we are quite young people, you know, like we're at the beginning stages of our lives, and just being able to experience the world and change our ways of thinking, you know, like change our ways of like seeing society, you know, like, and especially here in the United States, you know, we live such a privileged life, you know, that we forget that the world is still running around, you know, outside of us. So being able to see, you know, someone different. So it's pretty awesome what Ballet Beyond Borders has been done for many of us, and it's doing for a lot of new people, you know. And this is what Ballet Beyond Borders is, you know, like people from around the world with different traditions still communicating, even if it's not in the same language. So it's pretty awesome.
Once again, thank you guys so much for joining me today. And man, it's been a blast. It's good to see you guys. And we'll see you throughout this week here at BBB online somewhere. Take care.
We're looking forward.
Yeah, good luck, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
I'm very happy to be sharing our Ballet Beyond Borders experiences with our family during this festival week here in January 2021. Today we're going to be talking with Hina and Brent, who were with us in Islamabad and Lahore, and on a grand adventure that began with an invitation to attend the International Art Festival in Islamabad.
Hello, Charlene. Hello, Brent.
Good morning.
So Brent, you've got a couple images from our journey that we are going to share some stories.
I do. We're gonna find our way through some video, some photos here of our time in Pakistan. That Hina was so gracious enough to join us on that trip and really kind of hold us by the hand. So Hina, once again, hold us by the hand as we go through this video, and we'll maybe explain what we're seeing.
Here we are in Lahore Fort.
It's beautiful imagery.
So beautiful.
And of course, Hina
That's
always
something
finds
you
the
would
animals.
not see in Montana.
I really appreciated this because it seemed like everywhere we go, everywhere we went, we seemed to be the main attraction. All these locals were wanting to take pictures of us, and I had no idea what made me so famous.
They were so happy to have this chance to talk to you, and you saw how hospitable people were.
And I,
But it is also a curiosity, isn't it, Hina?
Yes,
I don't think they
definitely.
probably see very many Americans in Lahore.
Yes. And they were very happy to see that we were curious about the culture. These guys, they were visitors there, and everybody wanted to stop and have a selfie.
this.
Hina, I think you need to tell us why Lahore. Isn't that the region that your family is from? You spent time there. You wanted to show us
My
Lahore.
in-laws lived there. My sister-in-law is still in Lahore. That's one of my favorite cities in Pakistan. I'm originally from Karachi, but Lahore is, this is the old city, one of my favorite parts of Lahore. It's the whole inner city is walled and there are gates that lead into it. So we went in through the Delhi Darwaza, the Delhi gate, and these are the Shahi Hammams. This was the first stop when the travelers came and entered the city. This is where they took a bath, freshened up, and then they went on to their homes. So these are the royal baths. It's a fascinating place to be in here.
There's the fun part.
Oh, this is the spice market right behind the Shahi Hammams.
So I
I think our friend Michelle brought back sacks of that, but unfortunately, I don't think it made it through customs.
He told me they kept a few, but let him take home most of it. So I was happy to hear that.
I was amazed.
So Hina,
at
my
how much
suggestion is you should contribute your favorite recipe using these spices for our Ballet Beyond Borders friends to try.
I'll be happy to.
Yes, I'd love that.
Whenever
Even
I
when you
visit Pakistan,
came to
I have to
Montana,
go to
right?
Lahore.
We met with the Rishos, and they've tried to replicate some of the dishes from Pakistan and Syria.
Yeah, these are pickles and stewed fruit. And this is a strange tradition where they give you you pay and then you release the birds, and the released bird is supposed to bring you good luck. I don't know why they catch them in the first place. It was fun to walk through these alleys.
Hina, how many of these people have speak English in addition to and how many languages are there in Pakistan?
Well, there are many languages. Lahore is in Punjab, so they speak Urdu, but mainly Punjabi, and almost everybody speaks a little bit of English. So, most of the time we could communicate with them. Even in the villages when we went, I mean, they could, understand a few words and they could say hello and greet us. So this is one of my favorite mosques. It's Wazir Khan Mosque. And this has some of the most incredible mosaic work back in the alleys, the old city. And as you can see, a lot of women, this is the meat market, the fresh butcher shop here. I remember Brent was fascinated by this.
Yeah, I love this stuff right here. Street food, the beautiful colors.
They're making karhai chicken here, and that's keema, ground meat. These are fresh river fish.
And what a fascinating city, and the history there is just really incredible.
Hopefully next time we go, I'll be able to show you a lot more of it. There is just so much to see. We only had a few days there, but I think we were able to accomplish quite a bit.
This next video, because from Lahore now, we left early in the morning because we had to be back in Islamabad. There was a function at the the Islamabad Arts Festival that we had to be back for, and of course we left early.
Opening ceremony.
There we go.
Yes.
And so
I think we missed it.
we did. So I had to take a selfie here of us zonked out in the car as we're leaving Lahore, and that's our driver.
He was a sweet fellow.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fascinated by these villages as we passed. I thought, boy, I would really love to be able to stop and tour one of these things. I just don't know how we're ever going to be able to fit that into our schedule.
And then?
Surprise!
And then, dun, dun, dun.
That's a brick kiln in the back. That's where the bricks are made. I love these small villages.
Yeah,
We do too. Hina, you really need brakes in driving in Pakistan too. That's not an optional item on your car.
Lahore and Islamabad. I'm explaining what happened.
Had a issue with the van. We have a piston
issue that
apparently
came
has
to
a
a
major
complete
issue, so we
issue
had to
then,
stop at the mechanic, which is a hole in the ground.
Literally.
And we may or may not be moving on from here. We will have to see whether or not they're going to have to call it another ride or wait it out and see if they can fix the piston.
I was amazed that this hole in the ground was where the mechanic worked, and they could do their, like, in the US it's just unheard of, but these guys were incredible.
So he's saying that having the motorway here has been very beneficial because this was total wilderness. So it has given opportunity for new businesses, new trade. So he's saying it's been very good for the people.
Go ahead, Hina, tell us what
So
you're seeing.
this was quite unexpected because our car broke down. Our actual car was not ready, so they just gave us whatever was available. And as it happened, it broke down at Bhera, which is a midpoint between Islamabad and Lahore. And we found this lovely little workshop, and the owner of the workshop, Hassan, this young man with us, I asked him to take us and show us the fields around it. And that was such a wonderful experience.
Well, that's good.
There's a sugarcane field, and we're learning how to peel sugarcane.
Can you put that on your cereal in the morning?
Feels like sugar. When you bite into this, you feel the grains that you usually, expect with sugar.
Uh-huh.
Hina, this was like being in the Wizard of Oz for me. Just like we landed in a magical, totally new surroundings.
And you'll see some of the pictures in here of the people peeking around walls at us, wondering who we are wandering through their village.
My favorite part, the animals. I love how well they look after their animals there.
Good morning, guys.
And how we're all well cared for and well fed. They stay with the family. They're not kept somewhere far away. They're all part of the household in a way.
And better off family, more animals you will have. So.
Hina, explain that, I'm a big fan of Italy where you have these piazzas, but it's almost as though the villagers each have their own little piazza within their wall, right? Their animals live there, they cook there, they do their washing there. It's as if they have their own little private square.
Yes. Almost every household has every household has its own courtyard, and that's where all the activity takes place. All the elders of the family sit there, all the pets are, tied there. You'll see chickens, goats, buffaloes, everything. So that's where it's always a very lively place. So he's showing us something. He's delivering fresh milk.
He's just picked it up from the Dera, which is a farmhouse, and now he's going to make deliveries and deliver it home to home.
Hina, was it correct that the young man that was our driver had lived in the bigger city and had decided to go back to his village? Am I wrong with that?
Hassan, yes.
Yes.
He had lived in Islamabad and worked there, but he decided that he wanted to look. So we met several schoolgirls along the way, and everybody wanted to stop and talk. So I was fascinated by this particular village and the narrow alleys and these brightly painted doors. And some were old wooden doors, and then there were some that were metal that you could tell that the family is doing better and they're investing in their house.
As you can tell from the photos, they were my favorite. I really enjoyed the doors. Oh, somebody
Yeah,
peeking over the
I
wall
can
at us.
see. These two women were so sweet. They peeked over the wall. I don't know what they were standing on the other side, balancing on something, and they invited us in to have tea with them. Oh, so these things you see on the wall. Oh, I'm pointing at it. These things are actually cow dung. It's mainly, sawdust, and they make these pancakes out of it and use it as fuel. So nothing gets wasted.
The young women, most of them go to school to age 10 or 15, or what is the norm for the education?
Well, it all depends on if there are schools available. Some places only have schools going up to the 5th grade. And then there are some areas that have no schools at all. But here I saw that all boys and girls were going to school, so we could see them walking back. So there was a government school nearby. And everywhere we went, the people opened their doors and welcomed us and wanted us to come in and have tea with them. Tea is a big thing. I mean, they want every guest to come and have something with them, some refreshments.
I think that's something that really struck me about.
I love this image.
About Pakistan, the hospitality. Everybody was so incredibly generous, especially from the villages. People who really did not have much, they were living in poverty, yet they shared what they had.
And you saw, Brent, that the women were very confident. They were not shy or suppressed, as is often believed. They were very talkative. They wanted to chat with us. They wanted us to enter their homes. And so there's a lot of trust when you go to villages. It's a very welcoming environment.
There's that courtyard we were talking about, all the animals
Yes,
living within
yes.
the courtyard. And then those would be
But as you
rooms
can see-
of the house around the
White
outside.
radish, they are very good for you.
This was a little hole in the wall, and this turned out to be the grocery store for the entire village. And this old man, he was so sweet. He just gave us all these gifts. Look, these are radishes and biscuits, and he just was so happy to have us there.
Thank you.
He's just passing out these biscuits. This is all. This is his entire shop.
No, he's not going to take anything.
Oh, now he's going to give us more. We better go.
He's giving us more. And when I tried to give him some money, he refused. Mama hen. Every family knew which hen belonged to which family. So sometimes the neighbor's chicken would come over and they knew exactly which house it belonged to. They would return it.
They also showed us how they moved their irrigation systems.
Yes. This is water being pumped from under the ground through these wells and tube wells. And Punjab is the most fertile region of Pakistan. It means, Punjab literally means 5 rivers. So 5 rivers meet here. So as you can see how green it is, and it's an agricultural hub of Pakistan.
If we have just a couple seconds here, I wanted to, I don't know if the viewers can see the woman talking to you there on the edge of the bridge. But that was one of the women that we talked to earlier in the video sequence that we saw, and she chased us down probably about a mile later, mile and a half. She chased after us. She had a very touching story, and Hina, just really briefly, if you could just explain to us what happened there.
I still remember her story, and it kind of haunts me to this day. He told me that her daughter had gone to Islamabad to shop for her wedding. She was about to be married and she was kidnapped. That was a year and a half ago. And she had no idea where the girl was and she was desperate for help. And she was asking me if we can, talk to somebody. She just wanted to know where the girl was, if she was still alive. And I did talk to a few people and I gave them Hassan's number so they could get in touch with the woman, but I have no idea what came of it. But it was very heartbreaking what she had to say. This young man stopped his motorcycle. He wanted to say hello to us and to tell us how education is important in his family. He was a pharmacist and his sister was studying, going to college, and he was driving her to college. And he wanted to tell us that he was making sure that all the sisters were being educated. So these are this fellow is roasting corn on hot sand.
And that was one of my favorite treats while in Pakistan.
I know.
Every time I walked around a corner and somebody was roasting corn, I had to grab some because it's really quite tasty.
It is. It's freshly broken picked corn and roasted on hot sand.
So the Americans, with a Brazilian in tow, landed in Islamabad at the invitation of our very dear friend Jamal Shah to attend his Islamabad Art Festival. And we didn't realize what a great adventure was to behold, not just in Islamabad, but because I had this beautiful friend named Hina, who was along with us and who was very gracious and anxious to share her culture and all the beautiful stories of the women of Pakistan, the food, and the things that would become treasures from our experience in Pakistan. When we began our performances, Hina invited one of her friends from Karachi, Emu, to join us. He also came along on the shopping trips, which were very, very long and exotic and rich experiences. And we discovered that he's quite the international sensation as a great musician and a lovely, lovely person. And we were so happy to have him join our tribe of Ballet Beyond Borders performers. And he was so lovely to encourage us to add a piece to our repertoire in Islamabad, very quickly created and choreographed to his music. So that was a great addition to our program and also an unexpected collaboration that was born out of simply getting on the plane and going there, which we truly, truly love to do. And it's even rippled into the fact that he was with us in Montana, again for Ballet Beyond Borders, and had a collaboration on stage, I believe, with our Native Americans and on Ballet from South Africa. And again, many, many ripples of new friendships have extended from that chance encounter with Hina in Pakistan that we get to meet Emu. And we hope that there'll be many more opportunities to not just build bridges in the traditional sense between the USA and Pakistan, but really many different layers of understanding and family to family and artist to artist.
Charlene, I have to say that's what I love about Ballet Beyond Borders. And I'm always observing how you do this. You bring these people together and it's never just on a superficial, it leads to so many interesting collaborations. They just become part of this ever-growing family of Ballet Beyond Borders. And
it really does feel like a family too.
Yes.
We really we really want to help somebody stand up if they're, down, and we want to celebrate their great achievements, and we're interested in the children that are, very young, and the seniors who have had extraordinary careers and are sharing their heritage. But Hina, we also are looking forward to a future collaboration with you in regards to the art and the embroidery, and working with one of our beautiful Native American dancers. Could you tell us a little bit about that? Because that's just a glimpse into the future of an understanding between not just USA and Pakistan, but our indigenous nations from Montana and Pakistan.
Charlene, it was so interesting for me to see Kaya, our Native American princess, her excitement to see the clothes, the fabrics, embroideries, because she does exquisite beadwork and, designs all of her own costumes.
This looks so much like our jewelry. It is like crazy.
So it was such a pleasure to watch her. Remember that little fabric store that we went to several times? And she would be just like, like a child in there, thrilled to see and feel all the fabrics. So I know there are many similarities between how women, use embroidery to beautify their homes, to create beautiful things for themselves, and to make exquisite things for their children. I mean, Kaya has done that for her twins, and that is something village women in Pakistan do. From the desert to the mountains, wherever you go, you see how beautifully they create these little costumes and shawls and things for their children. So I look forward to showing them in parallel and talking about, because I have a big collection of Pakistani art and, embroideries, the textile art. And Kaya, we would love to bring her in with her collection of embroideries and just sit there and admire and marvel at those beautiful pieces. There's so many stories.
There's a lot of stories, but as an American, we are well known, unfortunately, that, there's a Target on every corner or a Walmart on every corner. And, those are convenient. But the difference is most of us have many of the same things, right? Because that's what's offered to us, at an inexpensive price, and it's convenience. Yeah. Your embroidery and these handiworks, they're very unique from tribe to tribe, from region to region. I mean, isn't this true? I mean, we looked at things from Balochistan, and I bought rugs from Afghanistan. And my personal favorite, those tiny rugs we looked at in Islamabad. And then you said, those are for the camels. And I immediately had to have one for my beagle, because I had never thought of camel rugs. So, I mean, as an American, almost everything that we experienced there was not just, oh, isn't that lovely? It was something it had never even occurred to us. So that's why I said earlier it was like the Wizard of Oz, because it was so beyond our expectations. And in turn, it makes me, as an American woman, very aware of how challenging it must have been for the drummers to visit the USA for the first time, as our culture is so different. And as you touched upon, as an American woman in Pakistan, never ever did I feel like I needed to be an American, ever. I always felt like I should do everything I could to, I don't want to blend in, is not really what it is, but to experience how the dress affects how people receive you as well. And that a softer tone, which I admire in you greatly, is a valuable tool in the world, not just in Pakistan, in everywhere, that if we could somehow open our eyes and listen a little bit more, and we might be a little more successful in all arenas. But I do have a huge appreciation now for that I didn't have before. For the people who come to visit us from very exotic locations in the world, such as where the drummers were coming from, you know, we really need to be mindful of they were landing in the Wizard of Oz when they came to us too.
Yes, they had never seen anything like it. They were very touched by the hospitality. They were shown here in LA when you first came, and then in Montana. To them, that Montana landscape, the snow, and having these dancers. You had 150 performers from 35 different countries, and for these drummers to be there, part of this, and in the end, when everybody was dancing to their, drumming, was just an incredible experience.
Right. And when we say dancing to the drumming, we mean little children through professionals, and we mean ballet dancers to hip hop and indigenous names. I mean, it was every diversity you could think of.
I remember
actually a location that's not very diverse, right, Brent? Montana is really not a very diverse culture except for our Native Americans.
That's very true. Turn my mic back on. That's very true. Although what's interesting about Missoula, and I think that this is, Charlene, this is maybe one of the reasons why you ended up in Missoula, is that Missoula is very open to welcoming other cultures and ideas into the town and to experience that. A lot of artists live here, and so. But being Montana, yes, absolutely, we're very limited on the culture we get, other than when it flies in or happens to be traveling from St. Paul or Minneapolis towards Seattle.
So Hina, let's go back.
How does tomorrow
Start
sound?
Planning the trip.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to take you back and to have future collaborations. There's so much we can do together.
Yes, yes. So the
And
next
more shopping.
Ballet Beyond Borders, beyond this particular week, January 2021, is scheduled for August here in Montana. And we hope to welcome the world again to Missoula, Montana. And we have aspirations to take this unique brand that we have to Havana, Cuba, and many other exotic destinations. And we hope to meet you there.